Oh yeah, what's up, everybody? We're back. That's Wild Podcast, man. I told you we was gonna come back, man. We're back. I'm Tito P. That's my boy E. With me all the time.
What's poppin'?
We got a very special guest today, baby. We got the award-winning Ryan Hoppe on the show with us, man.
Hell yeah.
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Hoppe, I think it was more than once, right?
Yeah, it was twice. It hasn't been in like 4 years, but it's fine. I'm happy.
Hey, that's two more than we got.
Hell yeah.
True. Good point.
Yo, Hoppe, I want to start this out a little different instead of talking about radio. Let's say that you didn't get into radio. What career path do you think you would have tried to went with? Like something you might have wanted to do, but what would you also say probably would have happened? Like something in your town?
I don't know. Live at home with my mom. I have no other plan, dude. I don't know. I grew up in Chicago, man. Dude, there was so many options. People don't get it because, like, you're in Texas, right, Tito?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And where are you, Everett?
Bradenton.
Okay, so, like, those are two big markets. I mean, you got BMS in Texas. You got the Bone in Tampa. But, like, they're the king. They're big fish in small ponds. But in Chicago, it's like you got all these little like fish in like a huge pond, and there were so many options. So like everybody was into radio up there. I mean, there were so many shows to listen to, and I remember I was just like, man, I want to do this. Like I would just like my mom would drive me to class or whatever, and there'd be a show to listen to in the morning. There'd be a show to listen to in the afternoon, and it's not really as prevalent now because everything's pre-recorded. But man, like in the 90s and 2000s in Chicago, dude. Everything was so exciting. You could listen to like mom and pop radio and it was exciting. And it was just, I was like, man, I want to do this.
How old were you when you started listening?
I think it was second grade that I started listening. I remember I went on this field trip to this thing called 106.7 The Fish. And it was like religious radio. And I remember I just was really into it. Everybody else was bored. I remember I just like kept saying, oh, like blah, blah, blah. And the guy seemed like flattered that a person cared. And then I started to get into talk radio in like fifth or sixth grade. There were shows that were just on in Chicago that you guys wouldn't know of. But like, I was like, man, like I really wanted to do this. And then I really got into like mid 2000s hip hop radio. So like I was really into Power 92 in Chicago, WGCI, B96. They were playing like Yin Yang Twins and that. And that sort of like defined my life, man. Like I just loved, and I love rap now. I'm trying to like it, but man, from like 99 till about 2009 rap, I can name anything, dude. Like that's like my thing.
That's dope.
I love it, bro. The best. Nothing that beats it.
I know we wouldn't know the names or anything, but what was some of the radio hosts back in the day?
So on B96, it was like sort of hip hop radio. There was these two white dudes that are now almost 70. So they were doing it when they were like 55 in Chicago. They were called Eddie and Jobo, and they were on in Chicago, and they made like millions on millions of dollars just as their base pay. And that didn't include having like major cell phone sponsors. And then there was one guy named Mancow who was in Chicago in the 2000s and 90s. He's not really in radio anymore. And there was like sports radio in Tampa is horrendous. It's a joke. Besides Ian Beckles, who is the man, everybody else in this town sucks at sports radio. But sports radio in Chicago, man, like if the Bears sucked on a Sunday, you wanted to listen the next morning to hear them just tear the team apart. And they don't really do that in Tampa. I mean, you're going to get more honest opinions about sports from Mike Calta than you are AM sports radio because they got the inside scoop on the team, so they're never going to bash the team because they don't want to lose the inside scoop. While in Chicago, there's this grittiness where it's like -20 out and you don't care and you'll just bash the team. So Chicago, I never want to go back to it. I don't like Chicago, but I love Chicago. I have a very weird relationship with the city.
I totally understand that. I was born in New York. I lived there till I was like maybe 11. Moved to Florida. Haven't been back. Never want to move back, but I'm super proud to say I was born in New York.
Yeah, what part of New York are you from?
Rockaway, Queens.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Was Biggie popular back then when you were there?
No, God, no. I'm 44. I'm old as fuck.
Oh, I thought you were in your 30s. I thought you were, but even then, like that was 30 years. I just wasn't sure because I have a newfound love for like Biggie and Nas, man. Like, especially Biggie. I watched the Biggie documentary on Netflix and I'm all about him now. I know I'm like 35 years late or 30 years, but man, love me some Biggie, man. Nothing beats him.
Hell yeah.
Yo, speaking of that documentary, it blew my mind that they said that Biggie used to listen to country music all the time.
Biggie was a smart dude. What I thought was fascinating was hearing that like he was like dealing crack out of the house, and then I felt kind of bad for his mom when she said that she thought it was mashed potatoes that he left on the windowsill. And then she's like, I've never been so mad at a dead person. I felt kind of bad for her. I was like, man, it's kind of suck when you realize that your son was just dealing crack.
So it was like some Parmesan cheese.
Yeah. Good old Parmesan cheese, man. Oh, God bless Hunter Biden.
Hey, so Hoppe, man, with you being in the radio industry for so long, what do you think about, the whole transitioning on the whole Zoom thing?
I think like, so how they're not grooming talent, that transition.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing where radio executives and radio hosts are like, man, getting older, man, we're like not sure where the business is going, but we're not going to groom talent. And all the people that are getting older, the Gen Xers, the baby boomers, they all were groomed. That sounds weird. By like the people that were big back then. And there's nobody really grooming talent, and you have to do it all on your own, which is fine. But then I never want to hear a radio executive or a radio consultant or a program director sit around and wonder why there's no up and coming talent. I mean, you don't have to pay them full-time money, but you could literally pay them part-time money and give them a slot on the weekend or something overnight. So I never want to hear anybody go, man, why is radio not doing the way it is? Because like, you're just not grooming anybody. You're not bringing in any talent. It's like think about it. Like all the big names, Howard, Opie, and Anthony, they were brought in. Even Billy Madison, Mike Calta, and then the people like Drew Garabo on the bunch. They all were given a huge chance, and the people that hired them, when they brought them in, it was controversial. You didn't know what you were going to get from them. And the other thing was there was a chance that they might fail. Like people were saying when Mike Calta replaced the previous morning guy, oh, Mike Calta is not going to last a year. And he's been number one for 7 years. So all these radio executives that are doing mediocre with whatever they're overseeing, they wonder why, people are going to Spotify or Apple Music. It's because no one's taking a risk. And it's something that nobody wants to say, Tito Everett. Nobody wants to say it because it's not fun to say. And I might come off like an entitled millennial. But until the day you start grooming talent and you make people want to be there, I want to be at the Bone. I'm lucky I'm at the Bone because it's a one of a kind. But I have friends in other markets that are just talking for 7 seconds. It makes me so mad because it's like, don't ever sit there.
Ryan, is it more the company up higher's fault because of that, or is it the people, the hosts that are not kind of like showing love?
It's sort of okay. So like, there's really no culture to grow talent. Like the show hosts will show love and promote. They're cool, but they're never going to go out of their way to promote the up and coming talent. So maybe I was incorrect in thinking that the Gen X talent that's now in their late 40s and 50s, maybe in the 90s and 80s, I have this imaginary idea that they were given a chance because maybe the previous generation was threatened by them and maybe that never happened. But it just seems like not a coincidence that since 1920, when radio came out till about 2005, there was always new batches of talent coming. And then since the recession in 2008, they just syndicate every show and put them in 100 cities and then wonder why there's no talent. I don't have the solution, but I definitely see that nobody's taking a chance, and they're just doing cookie cutter, the same thing. Everything sounds the same in every city. That's why I like The Bone or Billy Madison in San Antonio. That's why they sound different, is because they're doing something different and it's working. You have to roll the dice at some point, and nobody wants to roll the dice. And I could literally talk about this forever, but why get mad about it? You know, like what's the point?
You got to just keep grinding. You can't, like, even if you got obstacles and walls in front of you, you got to climb over those walls by any means necessary. You bust your ass, you're always hustling. I mean, eventually you're gonna get a shot. I mean, I don't know why they run reruns on the weekend when they have that you can obviously you can do your own show. Why not throw you on 2-3 hours on Saturday and Sunday instead of having reruns? Because people love live talk.
For real.
I mean, I guess get the word out, but I'm just, I don't know. I don't have the solution, so I'm never going to pretend like I know, but it just seems like they're just doing the same thing. Like, you can listen to music anywhere. So like, you got to bring in the talent, because every city, okay, only in Tampa is there The Bone. There's no other 24/7 talk radio in any other town unless it's like Rush Limbaugh, rest in peace. There's nothing.
Yeah.
But all these successful music formats in Los Angeles, you have the Woody Show. In San Antonio, you got Billy Madison. For New York City, you got the Breakfast Club in Ebro. And in Chicago, you got Fred. I'm thinking you get in North Carolina, you have Ace and TJ. You have talk shows that play music while they're on in the morning. In Tampa, you have Miguel and Holly. So like, it works, but people just don't want to roll the dice. It's as simple as that.
Do you have like one person that you can credit with that got you into radio? Like they'll always be in your head. Like, thank God for that person. They're the reason why I'm doing this.
I don't know. It just kind of was just like, thank God that I had a radio in my room where I could listen to anything I want. I think over the last 6 years.
Ryan, I'm talking about like an actual person in radio that actually like pulled you in. It's like that person.
I would probably say someone that I can really turn to is probably Mike Olivero at The Bone. He's like kind of a father figure to me. Me and Mike Calta, he's like the cool uncle that whenever you see him at a party, you'll talk forever. But like, you kind of give him his space. Like, if I really need something, I'll text Mike, but I'll talk to him when I need to on social media. So Mike Calta's been great. Mike Olivero, John Brennan, Eric Nagel, who used to produce Opie and Anthony. I had him on last night. There's a lot of people in different towns that I'll text that I know from a radio convention I went to. But recently, man, I've been kind of just playing the loner game. Like, I don't know if it's the quarantine or whatnot, but I'll reach out to like the 6 or 7 radio friends I have. But I don't know if you guys have this with like text conversation, but it's so awkward to end it, especially if you're talking to a dude like, hey bro, what's up? How you doing? And then there's like that weird thing where you don't know if you're going to have to send a like the thumbs up to end it. And bro, I quit reaching out to people, man. I'm like,
hell yeah, shit gets all awkward in a text message. Then there's no sarcasm in a text message either, so shit's all fucked up.
Yeah, you never know what somebody's saying in a text.
Yeah, dude,
hey, so
Ryan,
you're taking your show to like video now, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a whole thing, man. I'm on the No Filter Network, which is full of people that are outspoken and professional athletes that are wanting to do TV. It's very confusing. I'm not very good with video. I kind of liked that the guy told me to learn it myself. The person that runs the network, he was essentially like, I don't have time to keep. Like we did 2 Zoom calls and he helped out. And I sort of said to him kind of like a pussy. I was like, well, if I ever need help, can I email you? And he was like, or no, I said, if I ever need help, can I give you a text? And he's like, you can email me if there's a thing you need help with, but I don't really have the time in the day. So it's been kind of an adventure trying to learn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just hop on YouTube, man. That's the easiest way to learn everything.
I mean, you saw I had a hard time joining the Zoom. I forgot to turn on my Bluetooth. Like, it's just, but this is the future. You need to know this.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, it's not just you though, man. A lot of people have trouble when they try to get on the show, man. It's like, what the hell's going on? What the hell do I push? And then, it's just, it's not user friendly because you're not used to it. You don't use it every day. It's shitting you, like you said.
It's so confusing, bro. Oh man, it gives me a panic attack.
Hey, I want to backtrack a little bit to the last question I asked you. I said, who kind of you credit to get you into radio? Who was the one person, whether family member, friends, that was trying to talk you out of getting into radio to the point?
Okay, I remember. I don't mean to interrupt you. Now he's my biggest supporter, my Uncle Ken out in Los Angeles. But I remember like 10 or 11 years ago, we were driving to, I think, Universal in Los Angeles. And at that time, they've since left radio, but the big show in Los Angeles was Kevin and Bean, and they were on for like 35 years. And they were like the wacky morning show for like the baby boomers since like the 80s through like 2018 or whatever. And I remember I was like, this is the type of show I want to do. And my uncle's like, well, there's only 2 Kevin and Beans. And then I remember like that moment, I even told him, and he's like, well, I'm glad you didn't listen to me. But that moment right there, I remember I was so mad. He was like, you should pick a job that you have a better chance of making it. Cause look, there's just one Kevin and Bean. And that line right there, like I remember me and him talk all the time, but that moment, like that really pissed me off. I remember I was just sitting in the car in Los Angeles traffic. I was so mad.
Yo, Ryan, I do have to say, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't feel like that was that harsh. There's some people like Spanish's mom, wasn't she like, she hated the fact. So he could have potentially stopped doing it and went into other field. Like, I don't think that was that bad.
It wasn't, but it was just like the lack of encouragement. I mean, I was a bitch 10 years ago. I mean, I was the biggest pussy growing up. Like, it wasn't until I joined the Bone that I manned up. Like, I cringe at who I was as a teenager. So I was very soft. And that came from, like, I guess being made fun of, but I don't know. I was soft. So it made me so mad when he said that. I remember I was like clenching my fists. I was like, but you're paying for my vacation. I shouldn't be mad at you. I don't know.
Hey, but you got to thank him now because he lit that fire under your ass. And now look where you're at.
I was Everett. I can't explain to you how. I just remember I was like grinding my teeth. I was like, you'll see, Uncle Kenny. So, yeah, that did happen.
That's good shit, man. Hell yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, now you on in the radio with, was it Rover?
Yeah. Oh man. So, oh God, I don't even. Oh man, this is fascinating. So, okay, I'm gonna just. Okay, I don't even know. Okay. So Howard. Okay, so I'm gonna give you the brief synopsis.
All right.
So Howard left radio in 2005 into 2006 to go to Syria. So they put Adam Carolla in the West Coast to be the replacement. They put David Lee Roth in New York, and then they put Rover in Chicago. And Adam Carolla has gone on to do well, but David Lee Roth was out after like 2 months, and then they put in Opie and Anthony, and then Rover was out after like 7 months in Chicago and bombed. And I was like his biggest fan. Like for the 7 months he was in Chicago in the morning, I would listen. So then after he left, I didn't really hear his show until they created the iHeartRadio app in like 2011. So then I started listening from like 2011 till 2014. And he makes fun of everybody on the show, but like in like a vicious way. Like he's the authority on everything. But I thought if I were to work for his show, that for some reason, him being a sociopath, he was going to be nice to me. So when there was an opening in like November 2014, when there was an opening to join his show, I was like, oh, I got to join the show. And I joined the show in that. And I mean, he talked about me on Friday for 20 minutes. I mean, when I interviewed Eric Nagel last night, he said something. He's like, man, you got an obsession with Rover. I went, not really, but I think he's got an obsession with me because they let me go. So I worked there from January 2015 till St. Patrick's Day 2015 because I got blackout drunk allegedly smoked a blunt with a listener in an alley, and then they send me home because it was a bar crawl, and they sent me home, and I walked back to the bar thinking they were kidding around because they're shock jocks in Cleveland. Like Rover he was found not guilty, but he was charged with shoving an undercover cop in Cleveland. So like I thought I was just Billy Badass hanging out with these badasses, not knowing that they hated me and wanted me to leave. So then I got fired on March 18th. So then Rob, who worked on the Mike Kelta show for a time, worked for Rover and knew what Rover was like. So then I broke my lease in Cleveland after living there for 3 months and moved to Tampa and then did promotion for 3 years. And now I produce the weekend programming. But that's pretty much the Rover synopsis, is like he continues to bash me and all the fans will write these mean things. And I'm like, God, how archaic do you look that you let me go and there's something inside of you where it pisses you off that I'm doing well now. And when I was on your show, I was this goofy virgin. I've had to go to therapy about it because I will get DMs and I will get tweets, and I'm pretty sure you see it, Tito. All the fucking assholes that are like 70 downloads. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, go away. Like, you live in Cleveland. Shut up.
Ryan, you got to really look at it as if he keeps talking about you, he's just exposing you to a big audience. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that hate you, but he's also turning you on to some new fans that are like, oh, this guy's pretty good.
Tito, because I'll see you like some of my responses on Twitter. You see what I have to explain to Everett. You see what I have to deal with.
Yeah, dude.
Ryan, he doesn't have to explain to me. Tito, I used to deal with that same shit 3 years ago. Motherfuckers hated my white ass.
I have to say that
Tito,
too.
You see it. They're just like,
it's just assholes, dude. You know, it's just like, and they're just trolls, you know, and they're trolling the troll. And, you know, I see it it's all over fucking Twitter, dude. But I have to say, man, you know, I have to give you props, dude, because it takes a lot of fucking balls to even come out and get your voice out and be heard, man. And then to do show like you do, man, holy shit, dude. Like, hey, man, dude, I give much respect, bro. That's fucking badass.
I appreciate
you know
it.
What I mean?
I'm digging your thing that you're wearing, your chain. I like it.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah. I'm really big on chains now. I'm wearing one right now too. I don't know if you can see.
Hell yeah, man.
I love it. Dope. Confidence builder.
Yeah, hell
you
yeah.
Wear one, Everett.
He's the only one with that one, man.
No, I do have a chain. But then it get into the way of that's wild. So I don't, mess up the marketing going on.
Okay, yeah, he's got merch.
Yo, Ryan, what's since you've been in radio, what's the craziest stunts that somebody's had you do? And also what's the best thing that's ever happened? Like you went to some crazy concert. So what's the worst thing about radio that had you do? And what's the best thing that radio's brought you?
Mike Kelta 6 years ago had me get tased by a dominatrix, and I had to do pizza delivery that night, and she kept tasing my ass, and I had like these red marks all over. And for good radio, I talked back to her and I said, you're not going to do anything, honey. And then she got mad and she started whipping me in that. So that sucked. And
that sounds like a good time. What are you talking about?
I'm not into pain, bro. I mean,
yeah, that sounds like it sucks.
That sounds like a great time to me.
Dude, I think Everett just told us what he's into.
No shit, low key.
No, it wasn't low key. We're live on fucking YouTube. That shit's out there.
No shit.
I am not into pain, bro. There is nothing better than intercourse. I do not need any of the whips and chains.
Yo, that connects with intercourse. You get whipped and then you have intercourse. That shit.
No, don't need to whip my ass for me to get off, man. Hell no.
Oh my God, bro. Who hurt you growing up? Who hurt you?
Yo, Ryan, so was that, what about when you had to box that girl? That had to be awkward as hell.
That 2017 is just a weird year. I was dating a sociopath. I fought a woman in a punch out.
That's a book right there.
Yeah, dude.
And then I drove up to Chicago for Irma, and I missed the Calta cruise. I mean, 2017 is a year I kind of suppressed, but yeah, it's crazy that I fought a chick in a punch out. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Nah, it's cool, man. Hey, man, shit. They were just trying to get you out there, put your name out there, man. Got to do a big event to do it, man. You know, fuck it.
My favorite memory was they had the war of dildos or something where people were whipping each other with dildos. And this was the fight before my fight. And my favorite memory of that punch out was the crowd unanimously chanting, "Use your dildo" for 5 minutes. If there was that's my favorite memory of that punch out. Is that it's just amazing?
Yo, Ryan, was that the one that was the downtown St. Pete? Because I think I was that. Was it Janice?
Yeah.
I was there. I ended up having to leave early because the group I was with, none of them listened to the bone. They basically, I drug them all down there, and then they just wanted to go to the club, so I didn't get to see most of it.
Oh, dude, it was that's an experience. Oh man, it was fun, bro. I wish we could do it again. That was funny. And then I walked off like a little bitch after losing and like went home. And I remember I was home within 20 minutes from Uber. And I remember I was like, I probably shouldn't have left, but I did. I was just such a bitch in 2017. So you live and you learn, I guess.
What's the greatest experience you had because you're in radio?
I don't know, man. It's a hard one.
Wait, Ryan, it's not good that like anytime a bad experience, you instantly have story after story. I'm like, give me a good experience. You're like, oh man, why you put me on the spot?
I mean, I guess you could look at it that way. It's just weird that like I produce shows where we turn on the mic and people could hear us anywhere on the mobile phone, on the radio. If you're in Tampa, it's bizarre. Like, and the memory of listeners is very interesting. Like people will be like, "Oh, I remember when you did this," and I think that's just the listeners caring, because I used to be like that, and since I work in it now, I see how the pizza's made. So I kind of lost a little bit of passion to listen, but seeing the listeners, like if somebody wants to take a selfie with me, like last week at a Raptors game, like that was just so flattering, because I can't imagine like wanting to take a selfie with me and wanting that on your phone. But things like that just are so cool. And like, even if I get the negativity on Twitter, I'm getting better at laughing at it. It's just the fact that somebody takes their time to like think of me. It's just or to think about the people I work with. It's just fascinating.
Ryan, you got to let all that shit roll off your shoulder. What you got to understand is that person, you don't know that person. You're not going to hang out.
I know.
It doesn't mean shit. Like people talk shit to me all the time. I don't just say I don't care. I don't really care. It's like, I don't know you. You're just moving your mouth and making words. It doesn't talk about my mom, talk about my girl. It's words. I don't care. You're not affecting me.
Yeah.
Everett does the opposite with them. Everett's like, hey man, keep talking about me. You know what? I'll retweet it. I'll do hashtags. So just keep talking. Hey, you know what? Get your friends to talk about me. That's what Everett wants.
100%. Hey, at least you know me. That's all I care about. You know me? You hate me? Cool.
Everett doesn't understand the anxiety of opening up your fucking Twitter to see fucking people just hating on you. Like, god damn, bro. You know, after a while, it fucking deteriorates on you. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, Ryan, you're on a different level to me. Like, I had a lot of hate, but you're on a different level. So I'd imagine you're just getting it all fucking day.
Not as much anymore, but it's more annoying when I'll get like the occasional. It'll always be when I'm waking up at like 3 a.m. to go work at the Bone, and then it's like somebody tweets, "You suck. You're never gonna make it. Everybody was right about you." And it's
God damn.
It's always when like I'm really tired and I just don't need that at 3 a.m. Those are the ones that are annoying. If I'm like post-workout gym and I feel alive, that's fine. But it'll be like when I've been at work all day and then some asshole from like Largo is like tweeting, "Oh, you suck" on the Mike O show. And it's like, god damn, I'm putting in a lot of work. Shut up. You go behind this board and do something.
But not only that, it's like they got like maybe 10 followers and then they're sitting there and it's like, what the hell, dude? Like, why are you just, it's all hate. Like, you hate everything, bro.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know. It's tiring.
Yo,
Twitter's
Ryan,
just negative.
Yeah.
Do you know Brendan Schaub? He used to be a UFC fighter. Now he does podcasts, stand-up comedian.
I've seen his name. I don't know much about him, but
Yo, he
I've heard the
says
name.
all he does on social media is post and get out, post and get out. You should probably do that, like maybe for like a week here, just because it gets you worked up. Just so it doesn't get you worked up, just post your shit and get out. Don't read anything.
Yeah, you're right.
I do have to say this, man. You like you said your last interview with what was his name? Eric Nagel, is that what you said?
Yeah.
I heard that, man, and I have to say, dude, I was astonished of how much information that man was just spitting out. That was awesome, bro. Like for real, dude.
I know. He is a radio machine. It's very influential.
I was like,
and then he was
my
like
God.
debating me. He would like, I would have like an opinion that I think is correct. And he'd be like, well, no. And he would talk for 4 minutes about why it was incorrect. And I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah. That was an awesome interview, man. Hey, much props, dude. Hell yeah.
I appreciate it.
That was awesome.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, I listened to what's the one you sent me today, Tito?
The Covino.
Yeah, I listened to that one. I listened to the Monaco one. They were both good, man. You're doing a good job interviewing people.
Yo, the Covino one was dope, man.
Yeah, Covino's a good dude, man. It comes from, and I'm not kissing Kelta's ass because he's the main dude at 102.5 The Bone, but it's really just like listening to him just casually talk to people is the approach I go for. And I don't have like an agenda. I just kind of like listen to what they're saying and I try to figure out what to say next. It's very nerve-wracking, but it's fun.
It is though, especially like when you're talking to like somebody that you really have emotions and have like a feel for. You get super nervous, and like you do. Like the other day, I was nervous about dropping an intro, and I was like, "Fuck, I hope I don't stutter." You know what I mean? Like, god damn, like shit like that fucks with me bad, man.
Hell yeah.
Eric Nagel is a weird one because like I'm really not incredibly close to him, but like we're tight. And like last night, I was just nervous because he was like, "We're doing this through Zoom," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So,
yeah, man, this whole Zoom thing, man, just took over everything. Like the whole quarantine thing fucked everything up, man. Because like we used to get together and have these podcasts, invite people over, and everybody would jump on the show and stuff. But now all this fucking like you can't do that shit no more.
I know, going on forever and ever. I don't know what's going on.
No shit, man. Well, shit, man. I appreciate you coming on, Hoppe, man. This is dope, man. I'm honored that you came on. It was a privilege talking to you, bro.
I'm honored that you feel honored to have me on. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, but yo, Ryan, stop letting those people drive you crazy. Fuck them.
I will.
Stop. Fuck the haters.
I will, bro. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, man. You have a good one, bro. Later.
All right, you too.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, that was dope, bro. Another episode in the books, baby. Hoppe came on. Shoot, we killed it, man. This was awesome. Appreciate everybody tuning in, baby.
Hey, Tito.
What's up, man?
We like, I know we got a guest tomorrow. We got Sarge coming up tomorrow. We got that comedian dude coming up on what, Tuesday?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After that, we might have to do a solo one because we're getting like too, like, what happened to all the bullshit that we talking, the weird shit? Like, we gotta be cool all the time.
We doing it, man. Hey, appreciate you for coming on, man. Appreciate everybody listening. This shit is dope, baby.